Well, hey guys, Cosrx is tempting our wallets yet again with their new to me, Advanced Snail Radiance Dual Essence. Now, you know, I love the Cosrx Snail Cream and Advanced Snail Mucin Power Essence. Those products I have repurchased numerous times, so when I saw this, I had to give it a try. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my thoughts, my strong opinions, and I'm going to compare it to the Power Essence and the cream. Is this worth paying attention to, or should you just stick with those, provided you like snail? If you're new to Snail Mucin Filtrate, why the heck would this be an ingredient of interest? Why would you put that on your face? Well, truthfully, Snail Mucin Filtrate, it's actually been used for ages and ages on the skin, like dating back to ancient Egypt, I believe. But modern research has identified numerous compounds within snail mucin which have medicinal benefits. Most of the research on the benefits of snail mucin filtrate, I will emphasize, have been done in preclinical models, but a lot of research there suggests it as a potential natural source of humectants, mucopolysaccharides, hydrating ingredients, but importantly also has regenerative properties to it in helping your skin recover from either barrier disruption or maybe facilitating wound healing. Now, our skin is our first line of defense, and because of that, it sees a lot of stressors, and a big one outside of what I usually emphasize being ultraviolet radiation. Another major stressor to our skin is pollution. People who live in areas where there's a lot of pollution, that's associated with more frequent trips to the emergency room for flares of certain skin conditions, more stubborn inflammatory acne in places where there's a lot more pollution. Now, of course, association does not prove causation. When it comes to pollution and its impact on the skin, ozone in particular is interesting, and I've talked about this in other videos about how our skin ages, but ozone actually doesn't really penetrate into your skin, but rather interacts with the lipids in your stratum corneum, ceramides, fatty acids, and it creates a cascade of secondary messengers that trickle down through the various layers of the skin to create inflammation and advance the aging process. Sunscreen protects your skin from UV rays, but when it comes to things that you put on your skin, there's really a gap there in what can be done to help protect the skin from the damaging effects of pollution. And there's a lot of research going on different topicals that might aid in this. Things that could slow down penetration, antioxidants that may put the brakes on that inflammatory cascade, etc., etc. There is a small study that looks at snail mucin, shows promise that it might actually help in slowing down the damaging effects of ozone on our skin. Compounds within snail mucin are antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. Snail mucin contains hyaluronic acid, allantoin. These things by themselves are very good for moisturizing and soothing the skin. Snail mucin filtrate also is a natural source of glycolic acid, which can be hydrating and help encourage natural skin cell turnover, helping ultimately to smooth out the skin surface. Mucopolysaccharides in snail mucin bind water, helping to improve the hydration in the stratum corneum. And I've emphasized this on this channel before, but when the water content of the stratum corneum is improved, the natural turnover processes are more efficient. Not only that, but skin barrier function is a lot better. And because of that improved hydration, the appearance of pores can be diminished just by space filling. Now, for me personally, I've reviewed these snail products from Cosrx, and I've emphasized in the reviews how I was taken aback in using these products over the years by that, you know, I visibly can see a difference in pore size. I'm not particularly bothered by the appearance of pores, but I know a lot of people are cosmetically, and I have to say, snail mucin is an ingredient that I really have seen dramatic effects on my skin in terms of improving the look of pores, largely through that hydration, space filling likely. Snail mucin also can improve skin elasticity. While these are cosmetic concerns, I want to point out that the impact of pollution on our skin, it can not only contribute to acceleration of skin aging, but it's also a major culprit in a variety of inflammatory skin conditions like atopic dermatitis, acne. And so having a topical ingredient that might slow that down, help those patients out, that would be really great. More research is needed. It's not merely the cosmetic aspect of diminishing the appearance of pores. Snail mucin as an ingredient is one that I never would have tried out were it not for this channel, but I fell in love with it. Specifically found the Cosrx products to be very effective and relatively affordable. So when they came out with this dual essence, I had to give it a try. How does it compare to some of the other things? It has some unique ingredients in it. It has niacinamide, which you guys know I love, right? This product has 5% niacinamide, a reasonable percentage. Niacinamide is a B vitamin, it's anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant. It's been shown to be helpful for acne-prone skin. It's also very helpful if you have skin that tends to heal with hyperpigmentation, discoloration. It's helpful for redness. It has anti-aging benefit. It's good for the skin barrier. So if you're somebody who is prone to dryness and irritation, niacinamide is a good ingredient to consider incorporating. It may be beneficial in minimizing yellowing of the skin that can come about as a result of cumulative sun damage. Now, niacinamide is an ingredient that you're finding everywhere, right? I mean, niacinamide in shampoo, face wash, and for some people, they find that it burns and stings. That may be more likely at higher percentages. I often point that out, but of course it can happen at any percentage. This is a reasonable percentage. It's what was used in clinical studies, 5%, to show improvement in things like hyperpigmentation. So they're not going overboard with the niacinamide in this, but if you are sensitive to niacinamide, then stick with the other Cosrx products. They do not have niacinamide. Now this also has glutathione. Glutathione is an antioxidant. It's really popular, especially in a lot of Asian countries, in products aimed at addressing dark spots, discoloration, improving skin tone, complexion. And there actually is overall not that much research on the efficacy of topical glutathione for improving any skin concern per se. But there are some small clinical studies in actual patients that do in fact show it as a promising ingredient for improving hyperpigmentation and dark spots. So there is clinical data for glutathione, it's just not super strong. Now I know a lot of people ask me frequently to do a video on oral glutathione for hyperpigmentation. I actually have a video on that. So if that's you asking for the glutathione videos, check out that older video. The other products, the all-in-one cream and the Power Essence, no glutathione, no niacinamide. So this is offering snail plus some additional antioxidants. Now the all-in-one cream has 92% snail mucin, along with sodium hyaluronate, a humectant, $26 for 3.52 ounces. The Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence has 96.3% snail mucin, so a bit more snail mucin compared to the cream. Sodium hyaluronate, panthenol, and allantoin. It is $25 for 3.38 ounces. The new Advanced Snail Radiance Dual Essence. Now it's got 74.3% triple snail complex. And whenever I see complex, I always like take a step back because they can call things complex and you're like, okay, what else is in there that's contributing to the final 74.3%? Is it 74.3% all snail mucin? The wording on their website is actually kind of confusing. It made it seem as though it was 74.3% total and the snail mucin was coming from two different types of snails. But they also mentioned something about antioxidants and UV protective factors, and I don't know if they're talking about those being compounds within the snail mucin themselves or if those are compounds that are added. So all that to say, I believe this product has 74.3% snail complex, so lower than the other two products as far as the snail mucin filtrate, but we don't really know like what is the optimal percentage to be using. I reckon that 74.3% is just as good as like 92%. This new product is $28 for 2.7 ounces. How exactly do you use this? It's interesting because, we've been talking about the ingredients, but what is like the elephant in the room that needs addressing is the dual chamber aspect. There are two chambers that empty into one pump. I do 1 to 2 pumps on the back of my hand. There's more of an opaque aspect and more of a clear. They tell you to mix it. So what I do is I just swirl a bit, and then I take it with my finger and apply it to my face, to my cheeks, my forehead, my entire face, even around my eyes. You don't want to get it in your eye, but I apply it around my eyes. And when I'm using this, just using this product, forget about the ingredients, just using this product, it feels like in the dual chamber, on this side they've got the power, their power essence, and on this side they have their cream. That's not the case, as I pointed out, because they're different ingredients, but feel, texture, consistency, it kind of feels like you are using the cream and the essence in one product that you mix. But I'm pointing that out to you because a lot of people cannot stand the consistency of Snail Mucin products, the sliminess, the slipperiness. If that is you, then you're not going to like these, any of these. Their cream, their essence, or this. The consistencies are very slimy. How do I incorporate this into my routine? I apply this to my face after cleansing while the skin is still a bit damp. I view this as an antioxidant serum as well. So by applying it to the skin while it's a bit damp, it's going to help enhance the penetration of the glutathione and the niacinamide in theory, plus the humectant action of the snail. You know, you're really driving that into the stratum corneum for ultimate hydration. Now for me, I have definitely seen a similar improvement in moisture, diminishing pore size, just overall smoothing the skin surface, a radiant glow with this product. Similar though, very similar, if not exactly the same to what I experienced using their cream or their power essence. In other words, I'm not seeing much of a difference. Now that being said, if you have a lot of if your skin is prone to hyperpigmentation, you may see a bit more improvement in discoloration. I can't promise you that will happen, but the other ingredients in this, the glutathione, the niacinamide, that are not in the power essence or the all-in-one cream, those other ingredients, for those of you who have a lot of hyperpigmentation or are prone to hyperpigmentation, you may see more of a dramatic effect than I'm seeing. Truthfully, I think any skin type could benefit from considering incorporating Snail Mucin Filtrate into their routine, whether it be this product or any of the others that I've talked about in this video from Cosrx. I say from Cosrx because honestly, they're the brand that their products always seem to not only be more on the affordable side, but also I genuinely see good results. So you know, not only do I believe in the ingredient, the products speak for themselves in my personal experience using them on myself multiple times, repurchasing, etc., etc. Anybody, I think, could potentially benefit from using Snail Mucin Filtrate, but some people don't get along with it. That's the case with any skincare product or skincare ingredient. It has the potential to cause irritation for some people. Remember, when it comes to ingredients like Snail Mucin that are very hydrating, that help improve the moisture content, with that comes a slightly increased risk of irritation because other things may be more likely to get into the skin. Other irritating ingredients you might be using, anything that increases penetration of things, it may be beneficial in enhancing the efficacy of some of your skincare products, but it also might make them more irritating for you. And if you have a deeper skin tone and you're pursuing something like this because of the antioxidants, namely glutathione and niacinamide, that may be helpful for hyperpigmentation, but you develop the slightest hint of irritation, then that's not good. Any irritation it contributes to worsening of hyperpigmentation. What about for rosacea prone skin? Rosacea is one of those things that is incredibly individualized. Patients with rosacea have exquisite sensitivity to things that come in contact with their skin that should otherwise be, innocuous. But Snail Mucin, and it's, because of its hydrating anti-inflammatory effects, it might actually be beneficial for those of you who have rosacea. But again, some of you may find that it aggravates your rosacea. This particular product, it does have that niacinamide in it, which for some people with rosacea ends up being beneficial because it helps with redness, but for others, it ends up being a trigger. One other thing I want to mention, anytime I talk about Snail, people want to know about the collection aspect of it. My understanding, and I've done a lot of research on Snail Mucin collection practices, is that it does not harm the snail. But if you want to avoid any kind of ingredient that is related to a living creature, then Snail is not going to be for you. Would I repurchase this? I actually would not repurchase this. Why? Because I did not appreciate any improvement above and beyond what either their essence or their cream offers me. That being said, if you're somebody who has a tendency towards hyperpigmentation and you enjoy Snail, you might consider adding this product instead into your routine as opposed to some of the others from Cosrx because of the inclusion of those antioxidants that might offer you some additional benefit for your hyperpigmentation. If you're someone who is sensitive to niacinamide, then I would say avoid this and stick with either their essence or their cream if you want to try Snail. What are some other benefits that I have seen using Snail as a whole, which I see not only with this, but there are others? Because again, I haven't seen much of a difference from this with the cream and the essence. What are the other benefits that I see? I mentioned I see a noticeable diminishment of the size of my pores. And it's something that is time and time again. Every time I start using the Cosrx Snail Mucin products, get the same improvement in the diminishment of pores. And I start over time with continual use of the product all the way until completion of the product. I almost start to see my skin firm up and plump up. Now that is not, that's temporary to the extent that when you stop using this ingredient, for me personally, my skin kind of goes back to its baseline level of hydration, which I use a lot of other ingredients that help to maintain moisture content. I definitely see something above and beyond just basic moisturizing. The other thing that I notice an appreciable improvement of is overall skin tone. And you know, I get like a more even skin tone, less redness, and I also see a diminishment in little fine lines and wrinkles around my eyes, because again, I pat these products around the eyes. I make sure to not get it in my eye, but I pat them around the eyes. And I do see a smoothing out. That being said, Cosrx, you'll know I love hydrating eye patches. They make a Snail Eye Hydrogel, which I have the patches, but I haven't spent a lot of time with those. The other thing I like about Snail Mucin, I personally really love the consistency. And I find that the products last a very long time because it ends up having very good spread on the skin surface, and you really don't need much product. Like, I've been using this now for over 4 weeks and I've barely made a dent in it. It looks like, you know, unbelievable. Like, how can she be reviewing this? But I swear I've been using it for a good long time now to have a good sense. And I really like it, but like I said, it's not any better in my experience compared to their Power Essence or their cream. So I wouldn't repurchase it, because if you look at the cost per ounce, this is more. Makes sense because it has some unique ingredients, but those unique ingredients in this formula didn't offer me anything above and beyond. There are many Cosrx products that have just impressed me. If you've been here since the beginning of my channel, you'll remember when I discovered their rice mask. It's called a mask, but it's just basically like the overnight rice mask. Man, that product is good. That is one I've repurchased multiple times before. But let me know in the comments if you have tried the Cosrx Snail Mucin products. Are you a fan? Are you interested in this? Let me know. But thank you so much for watching this video. Now on the end slide, I'm going to link my recent video reviewing the Pyongyul black tea line, all of which I have recently finished up in total. So watch that one next if you're interested in Korean skincare. Pyongyul is a brand that does not disappoint, and those products were pretty good. So if you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.